What do you want, Nua?
Daddy.
Hmm.
Okay, Daddy.
Hmm.
You, I,
I'm recording, so can you be quiet and you need to go sleep?
okay, Daddy.
Right, okay, let's just get started. Regardless whether there is any right, okay. I feel like it's not going to the waste. As long as someone's watching it. On the grid, identify the reason represented by x is greater than 3. Remember these symbols here. X is greater than 3, y is greater than 1, and x plus y has to be less than 7. So those are the three areas, three lines that we need to do. So we need to draw the line x equal to 3 line, y equal to 1 line, and x plus y equal to 7 line. Now we should be able to do these two without any problem, and depending on that, you probably be able to get 1 or 2 marks on that as well. Okay. So wherever the x is equal to 3, so this is where x is equal to 3, and any point on that line here, x value always going to be 3. So what we're going to do, we're going to label that one as x equal to 3, and again, and we use the dotted line because this has to be strictly greater than 3. So we're doing this dotted line. It makes it easier for us to draw the line as well. And if that was x is greater than or equal to 3, then you use the solid line. Okay, so we want the x value where it's bigger than 3. So bigger than 3 on that side. So I'm going to draw an arrow saying this is the side that we want. So whenever we write down that reason r, we're going to label it on that side of this line. And y has to be 1. Y has to be greater than 1. So this is y value equal to 1. And again, it's strictly greater than 1. So we're going to use the dotted line. So that anything on that line is not included. So we want y value to be bigger than 1, so which is that reason. Okay. And then the last one that one is x plus y equal to 7. So when you add x value and y value, that should add up to 7. So when x is 7, y has to be 0 because x add y gives you 7. So coordinate should give you the 7. So that's that one. When x is 1, sorry, x is 6, y is 1. When x is 5, y is 2. When x is 3, y is 4. And so on. Sorry, x is 4, y is 3. When x is 3, y is 4, and so on. So we're looking to draw that straight line joining x and the y equal to 7. That straight line. And now we need to decide which one, because this one's less than or equal to, so we did the solid line. Now which side do we want? Do we want this side or that side? So if I put x equal this point here, random point on the graph, that's 0, 0. It's on this side of the line here. And it's substitute in here, x equal to 0, so 0 plus 0 is definitely less than or equal to 7. So that side is the what we want. So we want this side, and that side. So this is the reason R that we want, this with triangle here. That's always the case. If you don't know which side you want, pick any points on the graph. Say for example, if I pick that point in the graph, which is 6 and 5. So x equal to 6, y equal to 5. 6 add 5 gives you 11, which is not less than 7. So that doesn't satisfy the inequality. So we don't want this side of the line. We want this side of the line. That's what you need to do. Always check the point, okay, in the inequality and then use that. If you have any question, you can let me know. Okay. I finally figured out how to use landscape mode. I didn't know how you can actually use it on the landscape mode and go live. I did that question yesterday. A sequence is a pattern made using the horizontal sticks and the vertical sticks. What fraction of the total number of sticks in the pattern n are horizontal? Okay, so we can look at it again. Horizontal sticks, that's in the pattern n. That's what we're looking for. Okay. So horizontal sticks are these ones. It's going up in twos. 2, 4, 6. You're adding 2 every time. So pattern n. So first pattern has 2, second pattern has 4. So pattern n, if you continue going n. So because we're going up in twos, it's going to be having 2n. Because a multiple of 2, 2 times table. And then you're saying, okay, first pattern, 2 times 1 gives you 2. And it does work. So that's your nth formula here, 2n. Nothing else to do. Question 32. A mass of an ornament is m gram. The height of an ornament is h centimeter. The direct proportional m is directly proportional to the cube of h. M is 1600 when h is 8. So that's a direct and inverse proportion problem. So what we're looking at here then, we can say that, okay, m is directly proportional to cube of h. And m is proportional to h cubed. That's what you can write down. So if you want to change that into equation, we can write it down as a m equal to k times h cubed. Now we can work out what's the value of k by using the fact that we've been given here. Okay, when m is 1600, so we write that down. 1600 equal to k times h is equal to 8. So we're doing 8 cubed. K times 8 cubed. Now we don't know how to do it in our head. Okay, so I'm just going to put that in 8 cubed is equal to 512. So then rearrange it so you get k by itself. So k is equal to 1600 divided by 8 cubed. Because you're dividing both sides by 8 cubed, you get value of k. So I'm going to do 1600 divided by 512. That gives me k, value of k to be 3.125. So it's 3 whole 1 and 1/8 if you wanted to write it in that way. Okay, or 25 over 8 if you want to simplify version. But that's what we get the value of k. So equation that connects m and h is this one here. If you replace k back in that one, then you'll be m equal to 3.125 times h cubed. That's it. That's the 3 marks there. Work out the mass of an ornament when height is 12 centimeters. So whatever the height is, okay, we cube that and then multiply by 3.125. So the mass is going to be 3.125 times 12 cubed. And that's what we need to put that in the calculator. So 3.125 times 12 cubed. And I get 5,400. 5,400, whatever the mass was, mass of the ornament is m grams, so 5,400 grams. It doesn't say anything about if you have to write your mass in kilograms or grams or anything. So you just leave it as 5,400 grams. So that's 5 marks. Question 33. So when we're getting to these questions that are likely to be harder, again, it's been done, so it's just taken from the exam proper, not necessarily likely to be harder or easier. Again, these been given out in our school. Basically, I don't know if you get it, but if you look at my last stream, that streamed earlier, I have attached these papers, so you can go back and look at the last stream, live stream that I did, like earlier, within about 2 hours ago, before I had to recharge the phone. You can find these papers with the answers in the link. You can download that paper, this paper that I'm going through right now, in that link, through that link. Solid shape is made by joining two cones. Each cone has the same radius. One cone has a slant height of 2 times the radius. The other cone has a slanted height of equal to 3 times the radius. The total surface area of the shape is 57.8 pi centimeter square. Curved surface area of the cone is given by that. Okay, where L is a slant height. Work out the radius. Okay, so we've been given the two equation in a way. Okay, and we've been given the surface area as well. So let's put terms of the surface area, and everything needs to be written down in terms of R. Okay, so the surface area of this cone here, where the slanted L is 3 times R. So this L, for this L is, remember, slant height, this one here. So L for the smaller one, 2 times the radius. So this one, that is 2R. Okay, L is equal to 2R in here. And L equal to 3R in this one here. That's 3R. That length there. So L is equal to 3R. Now what we need to do is saying, okay, the total surface area is that 57.8 centimeter square. So let's work out the surface area of that one. It's pi times radius times the L, which is 3 times R. Again, I can write it down as that. So I can write it as, simplify that as a 3 pi R square, because you're multiplying all three numbers together. That's that surface area, and the surface area here is same thing again, pi times R times L, which is 2R. So we can say that would be 2 pi R square. So the total surface area, if you put both cones together, that will give you 5 pi R square, because you're adding those. Added this cone and then with that cone gives you 5R square. And now 5R square should be exactly the same as 57.8 pi. So we can make that equal to 57.8 pi. Now we don't know what R is, but we can divide both sides by pi and 5. Okay? So divide by pi, you can cancel pi on both sides. And then divide by 5, you get R squared equal to 57.8 divided by 5. And it's calculator paper, so we can just use calculator. 57.8 divided by 5. And I get 11.56. R squared is equal to 11.56. Now if you know that R squared is 11.5 squared, all I have to do is the square root. And that gives me R equal to 3.4 centimeter. And that's it. And that's what we've been asked to do, work out the radius. Alright, we got question 34. X and Y are similar shapes. Now two shapes are similar means one is an enlargement of the other shape. X has volume 64 centimeter cube, whereas Y has the volume 343 centimeter cube. Surface area is 176, and you need to work out the surface area. Okay, So when you're looking at two similar shapes, any type of two similar shapes, let's say shape A and the B are two similar shapes. So when you're comparing just the length, okay, so when you're just looking at the length of the shape A and then trying to work out the length of the shape B, you multiply by the scale factor. Because you're just multiplying length by saying this shape is 2 times bigger, so you're doing length times 2 gives you that. But when you're looking at the area, it's going to be multiplying by scale factor. Whatever the length scale factor is, we need to be multiplying by the square of the scale factor. And if you're considering the volume, you're going to be multiplying by the scale factor cube to get the volume of the B. Okay, so if that was 2 times bigger one length, then the area would be 4 times bigger and the volume would be 8 times bigger. So that's what we need to be keeping in mind. So we know the volume of A is, let's say, 64 centimeter cube. Multiply by scale factor cube will get you to 343 centimeter cube. So if I wanted to work out what scale factor cube is, all I have to do is do bigger volume divided by the smaller volume here. So 343 divided by 64. They're both cube numbers. So I'd rather have those as a fraction. Okay. And then saying scale factor cube is 343 divided by 64. So if I do cube root of 343, we know is get 7. So when you want to work out just the scale factor is, so it's 7 over 4. That's our scale factor. And the area would be scale factor squared. So if I will know the area of X, which is 176, so I'll take that 176 and then multiply by 7 over 4 squared, because need to be multiplying by scale factor squared to get to the answer. Okay, so we're doing 7 brackets. Remember to use brackets if you're not sure. Okay, so bracket 7 fraction 4, close the bracket and then square that. I'm pressing equal and then multiplying by 176. That gives me 539 centimeters squared for the area of the Y, the surface area of the Y. Remember, just looking at the area here. Okay. Question 35. Size of the angle X. Now that's not a right angle triangle, so we can't use SOHCAHTOA, okay? Trigonometry with the SOHCAHTOA. If I have to work with this one here, then I would know I would be using either sine rule or cosine rule. So you can use sine rule if you know the pair of opposite side, and then you're trying to work out angle or side, you know the opposite one, okay? So we know that angle, sorry, we're trying to work out that angle and we know the opposite side. So we know we can use the sine rule. And the sine rule goes something like this, okay? You can write it either way around, okay? You can say the side A divide by sine of that opposite angle, or you can write the other way around. Because this time we're looking at actually trying to work out the angle. So I'm going to keep the sine of A over the side, which is that, which should be equal to the same thing, sine of 125 over 14. They should be in the same ratio. Opposite side and angle should be in the same ratio. Okay, so A, we know what that is. A is X. That's what we're trying to work out. And this small a means the side is 6. So I can just multiply both sides by 6. So we know the sine of angle X should be 6 times sine 125 divided by 14. And that's just putting in the calculator. Okay. And that means if I wanted to work out what x is, I need to find the inverse sine of this, whatever we get over there. Okay, so I just put that straight into the calculator, saying inverse sine bracket 6 sine 125 divide by, okay, I'll probably need extra brackets here. I don't want to be making mistakes. Divide by 14. Delete. And then close brackets. I get x to be 20.5. And it doesn't say anything about the accuracy. So I'm going to leave my answer x equal to 20.6 at 3 significant figures. Okay. So if you're rounding your answers, make sure to write it down what's the accuracy you're writing it down. So first significant figure, second significant figure, and that's your third significant figure. So when you have a triangle with the angles in the side involved and it's not right angle, you know you need to be using either sine rule or cosine rule. Again, those ones are given to you in the formula sheet that you get in the exam. Okay. Okay, it's not given in the foundation one, maybe it's in the higher. Question 36, the bearings one. Okay, remember anytime you're working with the questions on the bearing, you know you need to be measuring your angle from the north line in the clockwise direction and write it as a 3 figure. Okay, that's the 3 things you need to remember when you're dealing with the bearings. Also make sure you remember where you're measuring from and to. Okay, so from Q, in this one, shares from P to Q, from P. So starting from here, from P. So P to Q is the bearings of 80 degree. If you want to write it as a 3 figure, 080. And then from Q to R, it travels at the bearings of 155 degrees for 28 miles and takes you to R. Okay. Now, work out the direct distance from P to R. You need to work out the direct distance from P to R. Now, again, you got the angles. Well, you should be able to work out these angles somehow. Okay, 12 miles, 28 miles. So this one here is a cosine rule. Okay, why? Because I don't have the opposite angle and opposite side. I know this angle is, because this is 2 north lines, so those 2 lines are parallel. That means this angle here is 100 degrees. Okay, because they are allied angle or co-interior angle always add up to 180 degrees. So that's 100 degrees. That's 155. So we know this angle Q. Okay, so big angle here is going to be 105, right? Because that's 255. Then you got 5 degree gives you 260 and 100 gives you 360. So that's 105 degree angle. We don't know the opposite side. We don't know these angles to have the opposite, but we know the 2 sides and the angle between it. We can use cosine rule. Okay. Now the cosine rule goes something like this. A square is equal to B square plus C square minus 2BC cos A. Okay, that's your cosine rule. Now, if you're saying this is your side A, okay, then you're using this angle here as A, okay, cos of A. Because any triangle, you're looking at the triangle, let's do the triangle again with ABC, because that would be given to you in the exam, okay, in the formula booklet. Let's say this is angle A, then that would be side A. It doesn't matter which one's B and which one's C, but it's in case if you want to. So that's B, then that's side B. If that's angle C, then that would be small c, the side. So that's what we're considering here. Okay. So 12 and 28 are your small b and small c sides. That 105 is your angle, and then when you got this one is your a squared. So we're trying to work out what this is. Okay, b squared. So we're doing 12 squared plus c squared, which is 28 squared, minus 2 times 12 times 28, and cos of 105. Okay. Now you put that in the calculator and you should be able to get some answer. Again, trying to use as many brackets as possible if you need to in your calculator. Don't make mistakes using calculator. So I'm going to do 12 squared plus 28 squared, press equals. So I know I'm going to get 928. I don't want to avoid making mistakes. Okay, then I'm going to minus 2 times, okay, I'm going to use brackets here now. Because if I don't use brackets, I'll probably end up making mistakes. 2 times 12 times 28. 28. I'm going to close the brackets and then multiplying by cos of 105. So I get 1,101. So a square is equal to that. Now I need to square root the answer, and I get a equal to 33.2 at 3 significant figures. So again, you just needed to use calculator. Okay, so that length, direct distance there from P to I is 33.2, and we use the cosine rule to work it out. Right. Question 37 again, sine cosine rule possibly, okay? And also looking at slightly more. Again, I'm trying to see if there isn't anyone looking for any questions or anything that they're not sure about. Sorry about the delays at any point, but I'm just checking if I'm doing everything right and it's working, the stream. Okay. Right, okay. Work out the total area of the shape. So the shape is made by the joining ABC to a semicircle with the diameter AC. Alright, okay. 5 mark questions, and the information we got is this. So again, if you can look at it, we need to work out what the length of the diameter is. We can work out the area of that triangle because we know that's 10, that's 8, and again that area of the triangle is half AB sine C. So we're saying this is your A, this is your B, and that would be your C. Okay, and that would be your angle C. So we're saying 8 times 10 times sine of 114 times half will give you this. Okay, so I got 40 sine of 114. Just put that in the calculator. So a half of 8, which is 4, times 10 is 40, times sine of 140. So 40 sine of 114. And I get 36.5 at 3 significant figures. So area of that triangle is 36.5 at 3 significant figures. That's the area of the triangle. Okay. You possibly get 1 or 2 marks for working that out. Now Now we need to work out the diameter of that triangle, sorry, diameter of the semicircle to work out the area of the circle, which is pi r squared. So I need to work out, same again, the cosine rule. So we're doing whatever that side is, basically, c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cos c. Okay, so that angle there. So substitute all the values in there again. We got 8 squared plus 10 squared minus 2 times 8 times 10 times cos of 114. Just put that in the calculator again. You should be able to work out what the length is. Okay, so I'm doing 8 squared first plus 10 squared gives you 164. Just be sure about things, okay? And minus, use the open double bracket so I can do the 2 times 8 times 10 in one and the cos 114 in the other. So you got 2 times 8 is 16 times 10 is 160 and then cos 114. You go cos 114. And that gives me total 229.1. I'm going to keep that as an answer and work out what c is, so that length here. So I'm going to do square root of answer, and that gives me 15.1 at the significant figure again. Okay, so that's total length. I'm going to divide that by 2 to give me the radius of 7.57 at 3 significant figure. So that's the radius, half of that semicircle basically. And if you want to do if I keep the value exactly the same, then I'm going to square that and then multiply by pi, shift. And I get 179.9, which is 180 at 3 significant figures. So that's full circle divided by 2 gives me 89.95, which gives me, and that's 0, and that becomes 90. So the area of that semicircle is 90.0. When I've not take any rounded number, all I did is kept that number in the calculator and keep working with it. Okay, and we said the area of the triangle was 36.5. 90 or 36.5 and 1 decimal place. So total area of the shape is 126.5 at 1 decimal place. Okay, that's the answer. Long-winded question, but remember it was 5 marker. So we can't just say you will get that 5 marker really straightforward, okay, or easily. So the question is allowing you to write anything from 125.99 to 126.572. Okay, so as long as your answers are within that, you will get full 5 marks. Question number 38. Vectors. This meant to be actually difficult question, generally comes right near the end of the exam paper, but it's one of the easier questions that you can actually look at. Okay, and what I mean by one of the easier questions that you can look at? Is saying, okay, this vector here, the letter A, B, A, B, A, and B, they are all in bold letters. So they represent some movement in the x direction and the y direction. So something like this, okay? Something in the x direction, something in the y direction. So that's why. So it's another way. You can take any route, go from B to C. I can go that way, and it'll take me B to C. I can add and subtract the same letters if I want to. I can multiply numbers with the letters, and I can do that, okay? So is BCD a straight line? We don't work out this length here. Is that a straight line? If it's a straight line, then this vector here would have the same direction, and those would be slightly bigger than that one. Okay, that's what we're trying to work out here. That's all we're trying to do. So let's say what's vector BC going to be. So if you go from B to C, I'm going 5A minus 2B. That's going in the same direction. There's arrows telling you which direction. I'm going against that direction. So whatever that vectors are, we're going to be doing the opposite of that. So that's 3A, so we're going to have minus 3A. And that's positive B, so we're going to have minus B. So when you collect the letters together, we get 5A minus 3A, so that's 2A, and 2B and minus 2B gives you minus 3B. Okay, so that's the vector BC going to be 2A minus 3B. So as long as this C to D is any multiple of A and B, 2A minus 3B, then we can say that's going to be in the same direction and it would be a straight line, okay? Or B to D, you can try and work it out, which would be similar but slightly bigger. You can work it out either way. So let's work out B to D. So B to D, I'm going same again, 5A minus 2B. And that's going within the same direction, so positive 3A minus 9B. So what do I get here? 5A and 3A is 8A, and minus 2B and minus 9B gives you minus 11B. Very similar things in a way. So is there any way I can factorize that? So I'm left with 2 here, and I'm left with 3. So let's try and factorize that. To get the 2A, I need to factorize 4 out. So if I factorize 4 out, I get 2A minus 11 over 4, which doesn't seem to be equal to 3B. 11 over 4B. So those two are not going in the same direction. So BD and BC are not following the same direction. So this here, BCD, is not a straight line. There might be a small bend here. Similar, almost similar, but not exactly the same direction. Okay, so therefore we can say they are not. BCD is not a straight line. Right, cumulative frequency diagram. So we're coming on to statistics. Okay, and again, these are the questions that majority of the people find it difficult. Why? They are actually easy questions. They find it difficult because they not revised it beforehand. Okay, they always look at it saying they're easy parts and not revise it. They always focus on number and algebra and forget about the statistic to as a revision. And then this is where they actually mix up and don't have enough practice, so they wouldn't get the right answer when it actually matters. Right, okay, so what we got here is saying a cumulative frequency diagram. Jeweler buys every necklace with a mass greater than 21 grams. Okay. Use the graph to estimate how many C buys. Okay. So mass bigger than 21. So bigger than 21 will be here. Anything from that point onward. But the how many are under 21, I can count it by looking at this graph here. Okay. So if I draw the line along with that, it'll take you to here. Okay. Again, I'm struggling to draw the straight line, but I'm going to try. And then when you read it across, it tells you how many there are. That's below the mass 21 gram, which is 16. 16 necklaces are below 21 gram. So other 24 are above. These ones are 24, from 16 to 40. So we're using this graph to estimate there are 24 necklaces that C buys. So jeweler buys 24 necklaces. Okay. Now the lowest mass was 3 grams and the highest mass was 28 grams. Draw a box plot to represent the data. So that's the same thing again. We've been given the lowest mark and the highest mark. So highest was 28, which is there, and the lowest was 3 grams, which is there. We can work out the median in lower quartile and upper quartile using this cumulative frequency diagrams. Okay, so that's what we want to work out. So I'm going to get rid of this part right now. I don't know why it's doing that. And then it's saying, okay, there are 40 people in total, or 40 necklaces been broke, okay, or 40 necklaces there are, okay. That's what I see. The 40 necklaces, we know the mass of those 40 necklaces. So the median value when you're looking at the 20th necklace, what's the value of the median? So the 20th necklace would have weighed 22 grams or something along that. So I go to that point and draw the line. So that will take you to 22. So median value there is 22. Okay. I ready off that. That's 22. Then lower quartile would be at 10. So first quarter. Go across. Read it there. So lower quartile is 18. Upper quartile would be 3/4 way up. And read it down. You can read that as a 24. Okay. So we know the lower quartile, upper quartile, and the median here. Okay. We know the lowest value was 3, the highest value was 28. So we're going to use that to do the box plot. So you always draw the line at the lowest value. So lowest value was 3. So you're drawing the line, straight line. Highest value was 28, so draw the straight line. Then what we're going to do is we draw the line at median. Median was 22, so we draw a line at 22. So 21, 22. And then we got the lower quartile is 18. So we go 18 as that point there. And then the upper quartile was 24. So we got 24 there. And then we draw the box around lower quartile, upper quartile. And then do the whiskers there. So this is box and whiskers plot. That's the draw box plot, represent the data. That's the data that's represented using this box and whisker plots. Okay. So you generally do the box around lower quartile, upper quartile, and median. And then you do the whiskers, that's the lowest value and the highest value. Another question on the statistic, and this is about the histograms. Okay. So doing histograms, you will need to know the frequency density. Okay, but to work out frequency density, we need to know the class width. And why do I need to know the class width? Because this frequency is represented by the area of the bars rather than in the histograms. Frequency means the area. Frequency is equal to area. If you remember that part in the histogram, then everything else will fall in a place. I'm pretty sure if you come to this part, basically you know law of your basic math. So if you know the frequency means the area, so that's area is 18 and the width of the bar goes from 0 to 5. So class width is 5. So 5 times what gives you 18? I can work that out by doing 18 divided by 5. That's your frequency density. That's the height of the bar. So on the here it says frequency density. That's what we're trying to work out. And at the bottom you got your age in weeks. Okay. So we got 0 to 5 weeks. So first bar is going to go from 0 to 5 weeks up to that point. But we need to work out what the frequency density is going to be, which comes from 18 divided by 5. Why? Because you're saying 5 times something will give you 18. The area frequency means the area. That's the area of that first bar going to be. So we're doing 18 divided by 5 gives me 3.6. So my first bar is going to be 3.6 in height. Okay, so we got 3.6 0.6 in height and 5 width. Okay, so that's my first bar here. That's done. So the area is 5 multiplied by 3.6. That gives you the frequency here, which is 18. Okay, so do the same thing. Here, 5 to 10, the class width is 5. We're doing 23 divided by 5. We get 4.6. So the second bar would be 4.6 in height and the width would be 5. 10 to 20, so class width is 10. 17 divided by 10 gives you 1.7. It's like 10 times 1.7 gives you the area. Okay, remember frequency means the area. That's the area. And that's the 20 to 50. That's the class width of 30. So 21 divided by 30 is 0.7. So that height of the last bar is going to be only 0.7, but you can see the difference in that takes biggest amount of the area still, 21, even though the class width is 30, that's why. Okay, so you can see that 4.6 for the next one up to that point. Okay, that's the next bar. And then from 10 to 20 is 1.7. So 10 to 20 is 1.7. Okay, and then you got the next one, which is 20 to 50. So big, but that's only 0.7. Okay, and you can see that really big in terms of the histogram there. So even though that's small, but the area is still taking up quite a lot of the area. If I actually drew 20 to 50, because there's big class width and you're saying 31 and you're just using the frequency, that gives you a wrong impression. It's not in the right scale, basically. It gives you a wrong impression saying 20 to 50 is the biggest area, biggest age in a way, but it's not. If you look at it into 5, then it's going to be just 0.7, 0.7, 0.7, 0.7. If you have the same class width, you know it's going to go only 0.7 up. Question 41. A sample of 50 eggs is taken from a farm. And these are the mass, so mean weight of those 50 eggs. So the frequency means those 50 eggs. When you weigh every single one of those eggs, you're going to be falling into these categories. Okay. A sample of 50 eggs is taken from farm B. So that's farm A. And now this is for the farm B. Histogram shows the information about the eggs from the farm B. Okay. Now, remember what I said earlier? From 50 to 55. For median egg was 53 to 63. The farm A has the sample more median eggs than the farm B sample. Using the table and the histogram, estimate how many more. Okay. For median eggs, 53 grams to 63 grams. Farm A sample has more median eggs than the farm B sample. Using the table and the histogram, estimate how many more we must. The word estimate is being used here. Okay, so we're gonna have to work it out. It's a explorative basically. So you're gonna be spreading these eggs in here equally. Area means frequency. Okay, so we got 5 there. So we know this here. 5 width. And the height is 1, so that's 5 in there. That's weighs from 50 to 55. So if you split it equally, we got 2 from 53 to 55. Okay, there's 2 eggs from 53 to 55. There are 2 eggs in there. If you split it equally, that's what we're trying to do here. Okay, so there are many median eggs. So 2 from 53, and then we need to look at it. This one here. 55 to 65 goes all the way up to 2. 10 times 2 is 20. So from 55 to 60, that's going to be 10 there. And then we need to look at it 6. So every one will have 2. So we need to look at it up to 63. So there will be 6 more up to that point there. 63. Okay. So we go 16 and 2. That's 18. Okay. So we go 18 medium eggs for this one. So we got 18 medium eggs from this data here, from farm B. Okay. Let's say how many we got from farm A. So farm A starts from 53 and goes up to 63. So 8 and 19. So farm A has 8 plus 19, which is 27 median eggs. So this one's got 27. So on roughly, because we're estimating here, so 27 and 18. So we can say on roughly there are 9 more eggs for farm A. Okay, so we're spreading those, whatever we got in that group, evenly across. So we had 5 here between the gap of 5. So every bar has 1 egg in there. Then we have in the gap of 10, 20. So every bar will have 2 in there. So that's why that's got 10. And there's 3 goes, that's 6. Again, another statistic question. Sorry, I didn't see the your comment. Mistake. I'll go back to that question. I'll quickly run through if you're still watching that. Okay. F4D3 mistake. I'm going back to that question. I'm sorry, just getting that. Okay. So median value, you got 40 in total. Okay, those are 40 as a cumulative frequency. I mean the frequency is 40. There are 40 different necklaces with the different weights. Okay, 40 different necklaces. And if you put them in order, those 40 necklaces from 0 to 40. Okay, from 0 to 40, okay, the middle value would be 40 divided by 2, which is the 20th value. That would be your middle value, which we call median. Okay, middle value would be 40 divided by 2, so 20th value. So 20th value would be there. This is already in order because it's a cumulative frequency. That's the smallest one would be there, next smallest one, next smallest one, next smallest one, next smallest one there. So when I look at the 20th value there, you go up to the line using the straight line and then read it down. So that's the weight would be 22 grams. Remember, 20 grams, 21 grams, 22 grams. That's why the median value is 22 grams. You're reading it from there. Lower quartile means the first quarter. So we have 14 total divided by 4 to give you the first 25% here. So 40 divided by 4 gives you 10. So 10th value, okay, the 10th value will take you to that line here, saying, okay, read it through that line and then turn it around. And it drops down to 18. And that's why lower quartile is 18. The same thing for the upper quartile. So you're doing 3 times the value of the 10th value, 40 divided by 4. So that gives you 30th value. Okay, and the 30th value here from that cumulative frequency, go up to the line, the S curve, and then read it down. That'll take you to 24. Okay, and again, if you're doing foundation, don't bother looking at these. You won't get these questions on the foundation tier. This is only for the higher tiers. Okay, I hope that answered the question. Yes, Ronnie, we can look at the congruency. Okay, I'll look at that in the next few things. Okay, congruence means 2 things are identical. That's it. That's all you have to do. Like one thing that's exactly the same as the other things. When you're comparing the triangles, you can always look at the congruency conditions. Angle, side, angle. Then you go side, angle, side, 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 and side. Right angle, hypotenuse, and one of the sides. Those are the congruency conditions. As long as you know in a triangle, 2 angles and the sides are exactly the same, You cannot make any other triangle. So just focus on those congruency conditions. So if they say prove these two triangles are congruent, you need to prove that two angles are the same, giving a reason why those two angles are the same. Okay, two of those angles are the same in there, and one of the side is the same for both of those triangles. Then you can prove that as an angle side angle condition, or side angle side, or all three sides are same, therefore those two triangles are the same. So that's what the congruency means, identical shape. Okay. Right. In a survey, queuing times of the supermarket checkouts were recorded. One morning, sample of 50 customers taken at supermarkets A, B, C, D. So that's A, B, C, and D. I've seen that question before as well. On average, which supermarket has the lowest queuing times? Give a reason for your answer. Okay. On average, so we're looking at the median value. These are the median values here, okay, on average. So the median is your average. So which supermarket has the lowest queuing time? So look at that. They all done on the same thing. So the supermarket C had the lowest queuing time on average. Okay, this one here. So the on average median queuing time value there for 4 minutes. That was the lowest one for all four of those things. Okay. So that's 4 minutes for C. B. At which supermarket were the queuing times more consistent? Consistency is measured using the interquartile range or the range. So if you've been given the interquartile range, you rather look at the interquartile range. So where is the middle 50% of the data is condensed? Middle 50. You ignore the first 25%, last 25%, because they could be outliers there. So therefore, you're looking at the middle 50%. And if you look at the supermarket B, the smallest amount for middle 50% is there. So interquartile range is just 2. So 2 minutes is the interquartile range. So 50% of the data are within that 2 minutes. Okay, or 50% of the customers had to wait either 5 to 7 minutes. That's the middle 2 minutes in there. Okay, I know they had to wait 6 minutes on average, but their range is a lot smaller. They know if you go to that supermarket B, you're going to be end up waiting somewhere around 5 minutes to 7 minutes. Okay, and that's what the consistency means. So it's supermarket B. The interquartile range is, give you a reason. So IQR interquartile range is just 2 minutes. And that's the smallest for everyone. Smallest out of everyone. That's interquartile range of 3 minutes. That's the interquartile range of 8, take away 3, which is 5 minutes. That's 2 minutes, and that's 4 minutes. Okay. And that's done for this paper. Again, if you have any questions in a way, let me know. I'll try and go through that. Okay. Ronnie, see if you're watching, just give me another comments on here so I can see that you're still watching and I can go through something that covers congruency. Okay. No. Right, I'd say there's documents here is again, I'm going to attach it to this stream as well, but it is already in the previous stream when we looked at first 25 or 26 questions on there. Okay, so there are 42 questions that I went through from top of my head, but obviously you got the answers attached to it, so you can check it if you feel that I made a mistake. So again, I'm a human, I would probably end up making mistakes, so don't take my word. If you have doubts, if you strongly feel about something, check it. Okay, and again, you should be fine if you've gone through these questions and you stuck with me, or you look through these videos and this answer to these questions there, you wouldn't have any problem. Okay, we would have covered pretty much everything that you need to know up to this point here. So good luck with the exams tomorrow, and again, if you've got any questions, drop in the comments. I'll still be checking it. It pops up. I do have those push push notifications. So I'll try and answer it as many as I can. Okay, and thank you for watching. Again, questions, please type it in. So before I end the stream, I can keep it. No questions? Any comments? All right. Okay. Brilliant. Thanks for watching. Okay. Good luck for the exams, guys.